This very well could be the best television show ever made. Stranger Things Season 4, Part 2. It's time to talk about it. Let's go. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Klepcx FM, brought to you by WeAreCritiX.com, the place where we talk about movies, television, and pop culture. And if you're into that kind of thing, make sure you hit that subscribe key and that notification bell so you can be up to speed about what it is I talk about here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have finally concluded the fourth season, the second to last season, Stranger Things Season 4, Part 2. And before we get into what did I think about it, because there's some pros and some cons, but let's talk about what it is and where we're taking off, or picking up, I should say. So Stranger Things Season 4 Part 2 is a continuation of the first part that dropped last month. This one dropped today, and the way that they released this was pretty different. So normally there would be an episodic thing where you'd have 10 one-hour episodes. This season did about 7 or 8, 7 episodes in part 1. And then this one ended on 8 and 9. But the last two episodes, one was an hour and some minutes, and the second one was 2 hours and 30 minutes, or something like that, in that range. So overall, it came to about four more hours left of the series, equaling to 4 more episodes. And what did I think? When we left off, there was a new antagonist introduced known as the Vecna. And he is pretty much a Freddy Krueger type character. That's what I'm calling him. I think it's brilliant the way that the Duffers have reinvented the nightmare genre horror type thing with this character. They even give a nod by casting Robert Englund to be in this thing, and I'm pretty sure that was them paying their respects to the master of nightmares, Freddy Krueger, by throwing him in this, or asking him to be a part of it, I should say. So having this character Vecna, who's very, very reminiscent of like a Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger situation, it was necessary that they bring Robert Englund in, I think. So this character has a past that's very, very tight linked to 11, and in the first part we got a lot of why and where he comes from, and a little bit of his origin, which raises the stakes a little bit as we go into part 2. So now part 2 takes place, still the same shenanigans. People are still trying to escape the Vecna, or try to figure out how to defeat the Vecna, and the stakes are high, y'all. This part 2 situation, it's not for the weak, emotionally, I should say. I watched these last 2 episodes, very lengthy episodes, and I gotta tell you, it put me on an emotional ride that I was not expecting. There's been a lot of speculation about who's gonna die. Even the directors themselves, the creators, they said that there's gonna be a large body count coming up, and where a lot of it is a little embellished, I would say. The emotional aspect of how this thing makes you feel is not comfortable at all. The writing in this is so good that you don't know you can't predict what's gonna happen. You don't know, is anyone gonna make it? Is anyone not gonna make it? And that gave me anxiety throughout both parts. I'm telling you, by the end of it, I got very emotional to the point where I didn't know if I was tearing up or getting the wet eye, because I was relieved that I knew we were at the end, and I knew that no no harm could happen to certain people, or if I was tearing up because of the harm that actually happened to characters in this thing. For instance, you go into this thing thinking, I don't want this person or that person or this person to not get hurt or die or something happen. But by the time you get to the climax of the series, you start realizing that you care a lot more about all these characters than you did initially going in. And you don't want anything to happen to anyone by the time it gets to that climax. So you think that you have control and you know what you want to go into and what you'll be comfortable walking out of, but by the time you get to that point, you're gonna be like, listen, no, wait, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for this. I wasn't ready for that person. I wasn't ready for anyone. So that's what that's a little bit about my confliction that I was having with myself while watching this. I really thoroughly enjoyed this season. It feels like it flew by, and probably because of the last two episodes being as condensed as they were, which is not a bad. I don't think that's a bad idea. I don't have any problem with Netflix doing that in the future. Like instead of doing 12 1 hour episodes, do a few three, 2.5, 3 hour episodes, like movies, and let us get it over with. I know that hurts viewership, but I think that's a cool, and they could break up the season. Like, don't drop them all at once. Just drop like 4 2.5 hour long episodes, and then get it over with. But yeah, I have some MVPs in this thing, and some favorite characters. One being Eddie. I know he's a newbie and people love Eddie, and he's got a Funko Pop out there if you guys haven't seen it. He has become one of my favorite characters. Lucas has stepped up. I love what they're doing with Lucas. I love what they're doing with my guy Dustin, who I've had the opportunity of interviewing and moderating panels with in the past. He's just a favorite character of mine. And what works in this series, and I'm gonna wrap with this because I don't wanna drag this on, but what I really get emotionally attached to is the fact that it hurts to watch these kids grow up and go through the things that they're going through in this season, because they're not kids anymore. They're not the young innocent, board game playing, comic book reading nerds that were gathering in the basement, riding their bikes through the town, trying to find clues on some Scooby Doo shit. No, now they're rising into adulthood, and aside of dealing with this madness and craziness happening in their town, now they're dealing with adolescents and girls and emotions and relationships and fitting in, and it's there, like the palette is laid out. Like these kids, there's touching moments when they're having conversations with one another where you just feel for these kids that you've watched grow up, and now they're like adults or almost adults now, or getting into that stage in their lives. And that was the emotional ride for me. It was like, wow, 4 seasons later, and I didn't realize I cared that much. Like it's just beautiful the way that they tell the stories around these guys. Dustin, I always connect with. They set him up. They always pair him with like the best team up. I don't know how they know who Dustin's gonna get along with, but it always works. It's always magical. And once again, they have paired Dustin up with another person who just impacts you. It's gonna impact everybody, and it's just wow how emotional the ending of this season, the ending of the series really got for me. I think they did a damn good job. Yeah, listen, Stranger Things is literally the best goddamn show in the world right now. I don't care what anybody says. Culturally impactful, just they knock it out the park with this series. And I am gassed and amped to see season 5 and how they wrap this whole thing up, because 11, she does her thing. She's still got more to learn, and I'm here for it. I want to see her at like level 20, and yeah, man. Just let me know, what did you guys think? What did you all think? I loved Stranger Things season 4, part 1 and 2. I think they nailed it. I think that they tied things together that didn't work for me in part 1, because I wasn't really happy about what they were doing with the adults like Joyce and Hopper and Murray. I didn't like what they were doing with them, but I'm glad that it kind of comes together in this one. It makes a little more sense, kind of. But the first part didn't work for me. I didn't know where they were going with it, but yeah, let me know what you all thought. Are you excited to watch it? Have you watched it yet? Is that going to be what you're doing over the holiday weekend? Please like, comment, share. Make sure you subscribe. And for more movie news, television news, and pop culture, check out wearecritics.com. And I will talk to you all later. Peace.